one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
You saw yourselves in me. I was you, you were me. We were in this together, right? But then something happened. I won, and you couldn't see yourselves in me anymore because you can't recognize success, because all you know is failure.
Jeez.
Welcome to another episode of Wrestling with Saint. If you have tuned in before and you're returning, I appreciate you for that. I truly do. If this is your first time, I appreciate you too. Stick around. You might like what we're talking about. We breaking down or recapping. So if you have not watched the shows, go watch them, because I'm about to spoil it. WWE Evolution 2025. I might dabble into Saturday night's main event. I'm not quite sure yet. I may touch on that at the end of the show, after I get done talking about Evolution. But if I look at the time and I'm already like an hour and a half in or something like that, then I probably will not cover Saturday Night Live main event. I'll probably just do that when I break down Monday Night Raw, to be honest. But I hope everybody out there is having a dope day, dope afternoon, dope night, whichever point in time of the day you're checking me out. Once again, I appreciate you. Let's get into it. So Evolution happened tonight, and what a show it was. Now, if you are not familiar with Evolution, maybe you were checking it out for the first time. I'm pretty sure you got the gist of what the show was. But if you did not, if you walked away confused and said to yourself or asked yourself, how come none of the men competed tonight? Well, that's because Evolution is a women's only pay-per-view. It is a pay-per-view meant to showcase and put on display the ultra talented women of the WWE. Why is that, Saint? Because the women never got this type of spotlight before. There is tons of pay-per-views in the past where women did not compete on those pay-per-views, where some of the top women got 2, 4, 5, 6 minutes to compete on a pay-per-view. They were done dirty. This is not an opinion. This is just strictly facts. So, a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago it was, they officially started a pay-per-view for women only. And I appreciate that as someone who thoroughly enjoys women's wrestling. And it's Evolution to me is such a dope thing because you get to see all of the legendary WWE women who helped pave the way. And I'm going to get into something in a second, and it's probably going to upset some people. I'm not trying to piss some people off, but I do have an opinion or a thought that I want to get out. But this is one of my favorite pay-per-views of the year. I'm going to be honest with you. I look forward to Evolution. I specifically was looking forward to this Evolution because it was a great match card. But not only that, I just feel like where the women in the WWE and NXT is involved, because that's a part of WWE, I just feel like this is by far the greatest collection of women's wrestlers that any company has ever seen in any generation. It's not even comparable, in my opinion. And not only that, a lot of these women are far, far better in the ring than some of the men that we see on a weekly basis. But they might not be as popular or as big as some of those men. So to have this show where you can showcase all of the women, or at least most of your, because every single woman not going to be able to be on the show, but I appreciate the matches that allowed them to showcase so many women. And it might be some women who you feel like should have been on the show that weren't on the show. It's always another Evolution. And obviously it's always more pay-per-views. But this one, I feel like it's not the WrestleMania for women, because WrestleMania is WrestleMania. But this is, I feel like at some point in time, if it hasn't already happened, the more and more these Evolution pay-per-views like continue to deliver, Because I think this one was better than the last one. I like the last one, but this one was better. I expect the next one to be better than this one. So the more and more these Evolution pay-per-views continue to do great, I expect this to become like a huge pay-per-view for the women. Like, I can't wait to get it, to make it to Evolution. And I really would like for Evolution to be booked as if it's like a SummerSlam WrestleMania vibe. Obviously, you can't replicate or duplicate, whichever the word is, WrestleMania. But you can make Evolution feel like tonight, to me, it felt big. Like, Evolution felt big. They showed you all of the legendary women. We got to go through all the legendary stories of these women who helped pave the way before the show started. Like, I think they did a great job, but I feel like it could be even bigger. Like, even because the talent that you have, like, you got Rhea, Bianca, Becky, Charlotte, Lyra, Stephanie, Vaquer, Nia, Tiffany. You got Naomi, Jade. You have so many stud women, like stars. Like, I just feel like this pay-per-view could just continue to become a mega pay-per-view, and it wouldn't be a shock to me if it becomes so big that women look at this pay-per-view as like the second biggest pay-per-view of the year for them. Or hell, in some cases, if it get big enough, it might end up rivaling WrestleMania for some of them. That's how good I think the pay-per-view is. But before we get into the matches, I do want to say something. Because as I was watching the matches tonight, and I was thinking about, because I grew up in the era where, I done lived through a lot of the different eras at this point, but when I was younger, and when I was still in high school, middle school, and whatnot, like I would say, I watch a lot of wrestling now, but I really was watching it back in the day. Like, I never missed an episode back in the day. I might miss a show here and there nowadays. You didn't have responsibilities as a kid. You could just do your homework, watch wrestling, you know what I'm saying? So when I was coming up, though, the women's division, I don't think I ever was looking forward to a women's match. And we had some greats throughout my time of watching WWE, but they weren't treated, and they definitely did not get the spots that women now get. So while Mickie James, Lita, Trish, Beth Phoenix, who's some other, Melina, I watched a lot. Kelly, Stacy Keibler, Tori Wilson. Like, I watched a lot of different women. Victoria, Gail Kim from TNA. You had Angelina Love on TNA. Like, Awesome Kong. You done had it's been a lot of talented women in the WWE and in wrestling in general. However, I am at the point, and this gonna sound crazy. It could possibly sound crazy. When I look at AJ Lee's and the Pages and all of that, I don't think, I gotta watch how I word this. While I respect every single one of those women and what they did, it kind of, so matter of fact, let me break it down like this. Tori Wilson was on the pre-show tonight, and one of the things that Tori Wilson said was, no, I think it was Stacy Keibler, I believe it was. And she said, like, back in the day when she was wrestling, she said one of the reasons she loved what she sees today is because back in the day, and I'm just paraphrasing basically, but back in the day, basically, that's just not what they was letting the women do. Like, they had maybe a 2-3 minute match, if that. She said they was learning the moves like the day before or before the match. Like, moves, like, and most of the women who I watched growing up did not have like an expansive move set. They all basically did the same things to an extent. Like, and that's not their fault. Like she said, they were basically learning moves on the fly. They weren't really used as wrestlers. She even said, like, sometimes we were wrestlers, sometimes we were basically just eye candy, or like a manager, or, you know what I'm saying? They didn't really use, and I understand women did wrestle back in the day, but the way that they were used back in the day, I think it's a reason that people, I think it's a reason why a lot of people have started looking back and respecting those women more so now today than they got back in the day. Because, and like I'm saying, none of this is their fault. This is the company's fault, how they were booked, how they were perceived back in the day. But because I was just thinking about it tonight as I was watching these matches, and I said to myself, man, all of the women that I watched back in the day, as much as I respect all of them, I only think it's like a handful of them that could have legitimately hung with these women of today. And that's such a shame, because once again, it's not their fault. If they were allowed, if it's like Stacy or Tori Wilson, whichever one of them it was, I hate that I forgot which one it was. She said something that was so fire with all that she had already said. She said, I wish it was an NXT back when I was competing. If I could have went and developed an NXT and learned how to wrestle, learn different moves, my career would have been so much better. And they told her, like, you still a Hall of Famer even through all that and whatnot, but you could just hear in her voice. And when somebody say something like that, I can't believe that they expected her to say what she said, to be so truthful and so honest in that moment. And say, like, yo, I'm looking at them and I'm like, yo, they get to go through NXT. They legitimately being trained. Like, if I could have done that back in the day instead of just being used as eye candy, someone who looked good, I can't imagine what my career would have been. And I truly do appreciate that type of honesty, because she is right. I'm looking at Iyo and Rhea and I'm like, none of the women from back in the day is doing that. But it's a reason. And I'm not saying they couldn't do it. I'm saying they were. It's very hard for me to say. I understand how Trish paved the way in some of those women, because they were like the first women to start getting the big spots. Like I said, Trish and Lita was the first women to main event Monday Night Raw. Those are big moments. But I just truly, and maybe I'm being biased, I think in a couple years down the line, while I hope that those women are not forgotten, because women like Maurice, Beth Phoenix, I truly feel they just got dropped in the wrong era. Like, that's why I was so happy when Maurice came back and did the run that she had, even though she didn't do a lot of wrestling. Because Maurice was a phenomenal champion. I just think she was stuck in the wrong era. And I'm glad that Beth Phoenix ended up being in her era so she could compete with Beth Phoenix. And Michelle McCool was straight. But when you look at these women of today and what they can do in the ring, oh my goodness. I truly believe in like 20 years, it's going to be hard to not say that the 4 horsewomen is the ones who paved the way. Because I truly believe those 4 women are the ones who changed women's wrestling. And the reason I say that is because as much as I like those women who I just talked about, I still never felt like in those moments, man, I want to watch women's wrestling. I can't wait to see the next women's match. I hope they put a women's match on it. Like, to me, it had never got to the point where I truly wanted to sit down and be glued to women's wrestling. Like, honestly, back in the day, that was when I got up and got something to eat or went and did something before we went to the next important match. And I'm not saying that to disrespect it. That's just how it was back in those times. But then something happened. And in my opinion, at least for me, you don't have to feel this way. It's just how I feel personally. Once I started watching Charlotte and Sasha, because those was the 2 that first did it for me. And you guys, I grew up watching Mickie James and all of that, and they were great. But when I watched Charlotte and Sasha tear it down every Monday night and on NXT, and then I watched Bayley and Becky, to me, without those 4 women, I do not think women's wrestling is in the position that it is in right now. As appreciative as I am, and I will never try to discredit the work that those women did before those 4, I feel like in a way, it's not just they paved the way. They gave us a good head start. But Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley, and Becky took this thing to a different stratosphere. And I truly think that those 4 women, even as much as love as they get and they hate it, they will never truly be appreciated like they should be. I do not care if you hate Charlotte Flair because you feel like she wins too much. I do not care if you don't like Sasha because you don't like her attitude or she left the company or this and that. I do not care if you don't like Becky because you feel as though she wins too much. I don't care if you're one of those sickos who say, oh, Bayley is being done so dirty. You don't become a legend if you're being done dirty. Those 4 women, what they have done for women's wrestling, because to me, it would have been so easy for them to drop the ball. It would have been so easy for them to drop the ball. They could have met. You got to understand how important it was for those 4 women to do what they did. If they don't do what they did, bro, we probably still doing the same nonsense with women's wrestling. They forced you to respect wrestling. You never hated a women's wrestler the way y'all be hating on Charlotte. That means she made you feel something. Because you didn't care about the women's wrestling and who was winning and who wasn't winning back in the day. You didn't care about AJ Lee in the beginning. And mind you, and this people really gonna hate what I'm gonna say. I don't think AJ Lee could really hang with these women of today. AJ Lee was great. One of the few women who I think was dropped in the wrong era, and I'm gonna get to her later on tonight. But it's one woman who I think was dropped, like truly, she might have been the one wrestler who was dropped in the wrong era as far as the group of women she came up with. Because I'm gonna get to her later, but as much as I like AJ Lee, I think a lot of these women that we like them more for the character work and things like that. And because the women's wrestling wasn't like it is now, it was easier for us to appreciate the women who looked good in the ring. But make no mistake about it, I do not think, maybe Paige could hang. I think maybe Maurice could. But it ain't a lot of women who I think from back in the day could hang with these women of today. Now, if they were given the proper NXT-like training and whatnot, who knows what they could have done. But Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley, and Becky have been for the WWE, for women's wrestling. Fuck just the WWE. What they have been for women's wrestling. Bro, I have never seen. I'm trying to think of a woman who got such a reaction from the crowd like Charlotte and Becky gets. Or when Sasha was in the WWE. When Bayley was a baby face. Or when she was the role model heel. Like the reactions that they demand from the crowd, bro. You can try to say you hate them and I truly believe those 4 may end up being the greatest, not just the 4 greatest women of all time. They might end up just becoming the greatest vets of all time because they all still look great. They still can go in the ring. They still are great at telling the stories and being a part of stories. They still great at this thing that's a dance that we call wrestling. Like, I have to start the show with just giving ultimate praise to those 4 women. Because for me, it was those 4 women that made me love women's wrestling. I did not love women's wrestling the way I love it until those 4 came along. And like I said, I don't watch Paige, AJ Lee, Beth Phoenix. I don't watch them all. I never felt the way I felt when I watched Charlotte, Sasha, Becky, and Bayley. And the fact that they have evolved through the years and just continue to get better and better and better. I do not know what women's wrestling would be if it's not. And this is another thing. Because you look at one of the biggest reasons I feel as though those 4 will be looked at as the true, like the 4 women that truly changed women's wrestling for all forever. Bro, after them, now we got Rhea, we got Bianca, and I'm gonna get to them too in a second, and a couple too. We got Iyo, we got Stephanie Vaquer, we got Asuka, we got Nia, we got Tiffany. Look at all Candice LeRae, look at Julia, look at all of the women. Lyra. We have so many stars. Look at the women in NXT. Kalani, Jordan Grace, JC Jane. What's my girl's name? I can't believe I'm forgetting her name. The powerhouse. Tricks woman, Lash Legend. Like, look at all of the talent in the women's division. It's unreal. Like, it's unreal. And I truly believe those women don't get an opportunity if it's not for the 4 Horsewomen. The 4 Horsewomen made you respect women's wrestling. They demanded that you respect women's wrestling. So my hat's off to all of the women before the Horsewomen, but to the 4 Horsewomen specifically, hats off. Salute to them, because what they have done for this industry and for women's wrestling, it's unmatched. And you want to know what's crazy? None of the men can say what those 4 Horsewomen can say, because men's wrestling has always been a thing. Like, you might not have liked wrestling, but men's wrestling has always been the thing. From Hulk Hogan to Andre the Giant to Ricky Steamboat, Macho Man, The Rock, Stone Cold, Bruno Sammartino, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle. Like, we done had so many megastars in men's wrestling. I don't know who to say like changed wrestling for men. That's not a thing. Hulk Hogan might have got people watching back in the day. Hulk Hogan didn't get my ass watching. The Rock is who got me watching. But it might not even have been a specific man wrestler. You just liked the art of wrestling. You turned on your TV as a kid one day and you liked it. What Sasha, Charlotte, Becky, and Bayley have done. I still remember those matches that Sasha and Charlotte was having on Raw. I still remember them hoes. And I'm talking the match. I'm calling the match the hoe, not those two. I still remember those matches. I still remember Sasha and Bayley. I still remember Becky and Charlotte. And then it's not just what they did with each other. It's how they changed the game against everybody else. They could dance with anybody. And when you look at the improvement that each of them made throughout their careers to become undeniable, all of them that had dominant runs, all of them that had phenomenal character work, all of them have been the top of their division at some point in time. To me, man, they should go in the Hall of Fame together. Because my goodness, with those 4, I hope one day they sit down with those 4 and somebody can have a conversation with them about how they truly changed women's wrestling. Now, you might not agree with that. And if you don't, that's fine. But that's just my thoughts. Now, to get into the show, we kicked off the show with the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Becky Lynch in a triple threat match defending her title against Lyra, Vaquer, and Bayley, the role model. And what a match it was. This was a 5-star match. This was a 5-star match. Now, listen, I'm a sucker, so it's not really that hard for me to give out 5-star matches. But I feel like I don't just give them out willy-nilly. Because to me, it was only 2 5-star matches on this card. And this was one of them. And what a way to open the show and end the show. Because I'm going to tell you right now, the 2 5-star matches was the opener and the closer. And that's exactly how you would want it, in my opinion. That's great. That's I don't want to say it's great booking, because booking really don't have shit to do with how great the match ended up being. That's the wrestlers. But my goodness, for those women in that first match and the last match to deliver the way they did, that's how you want a show to go. You want it to start off with a bang and end with a bang. They nailed it. And the meat in between kept me entertained. That first match, though, my goodness. Just a exhibition of phenomenal storytelling, wrestling, and all of it. And it's something that I want to point out. Because I always talk about this. How it's certain spots that don't look authentic or natural or flow properly. When like somebody jump on the top rope and then they jump down at a group of people. Like, I feel like the wrestlers should stagger smarter so that it looks like They're not just standing there waiting for somebody to jump on them. You should turn around and boom, the jump should happen. So if somebody taking a little bit to get up on the top rope to do what they need to do, you need to be smart enough to understand how to stack. Becky and Bayley just continue to show you why they are who they are and why it's so easy for Lyra to work with them. Lyra had 2 spots in this match that were beautiful spots. One spot, she hit a crossbody on Bayley and Becky, and Bayley and Becky did such a great job at motioning into that move. They didn't just stand there waiting for Lyra to come down. It was like a half a second wait in between them finally turning around and Lyra jumping. I like that. That was smooth. And then when Bayley was trying to hit the rose plant on Becky at one point in time, Lyra with a leg drop from the heavens. They put themselves in perfect. I say this all the time when people do moonsault spots. It is not the person who performs the moonsault. It's not their job to hit you. It's your job to make sure that they hit you. Like when you are on the outside, you need to position yourself in a way to where you staggering. But if you can, you need to be in a position where if they say they get too much air on the moonsault and they might go too left or too right, you need to be in a position where you can slightly move to make it look like you didn't have to move crazy, like, oh, you just moved into that spot, so that you can get hit with the moonsault. That's one of my biggest gripes when Charlotte used to do the moonsault on the outside with unexperienced people. They didn't understand that they needed to put themselves in the spot so that, because once somebody go up to hit the moonsault, they can no longer see you. They look back once to get a general idea of where you're at. It is on you from that point on to make sure that they hit you with that moonsault. Becky and Bayley did such a great job making sure Lyra hit them with top rope moves. And then there was another spot where Lyra had hit Becky with a move and Bayley had hit a top rope elbow. And it was like every spot in this match was a chef's kiss. And that comes from Becky and Bayley being ultra smart as far as ring chemistry and where to be, knowing when you need to be there, understanding when you need to turn around and take a move. It was just the ring psychology of Becky and Bayley is unreal. And Lyra, she a rookie. She don't even look like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna tell you right now. I think the best young women's wrestler right now in WWE is Lyra. And I think that for a couple reasons. For one, I think she is being booked the best as far as like how you build a young and up and coming great. Because I don't look at Stephanie Vaquer or Tiffany Stratton as better than Lyra Vaquer. Lyra Vaquer to me is already becoming a everybody type of wrestler, meaning she could lose to anybody, but she could also beat anybody. She is not being built as somebody who we never expect to lose, or she got to take some weird ass, it takes some weird ass storytelling to get her to lose. Like, Lyra looked dominant. She lost to Becky after beating Becky. And now she is in this. She don't look weak after losing her title. She still look like a star. Tiffany has not been booked like that. And neither has Stephanie Vaquer. And I understand both have big fans. I really still think people like Tiffany because they didn't like Charlotte for weird ass reasons. But I don't think either of them is better than Lyra. For one, Tiffany is terrible on the mic. And she's a babyface. The only time any of her promos hit is when she say heel type shit. Stephanie Vaquer is not great at English, so she don't really cut promos like that. Now, I'm gonna be honest. Her matches don't really do it for me the way Lyra's do. But I think that could be because of who Lyra is in the ring with right now. But the fact that Lyra understands, I'm not saying Stephanie Vaquer is bad or anything like that. But as I'm watching all of these young women, Lyra Vaquer is just on another level to me. Like the way she can cut a promo and it's not even just the fact that she can cut a good promo, because she has cut some great promos with Becky. It's the fact that she can hang with Becky, because I believe Becky is the best women's mic worker. Like, and I don't know if I think it's close at the moment. I would have to think about some of the other women on the mic. But right now, I think Becky is unreal on the mic. Lyra Vaquer can hang with her. That not only can she hang with her on the mic, she understands. She can hang with her in the ring. Listen, I'm not saying that Becky is like the greatest in-ring competitor. I think the greatest in-ring competitor in women's wrestling is Charlotte. And I continue to... Every time that I believe that, oh, this woman might end up being... Charlotte continue to prove when they put people in the ring with her. Most of these women can't hang with her. And I'm reminded of WrestleMania against Tiffany. Because I thought Tiffany was unreal. Not necessarily unreal in the ring, but Tiffany can go in the ring. She gassed out against Charlotte like halfway through the match. And Charlotte, from that point on, just had to carry the rest of the dance. Like, Charlotte, to me, is the measuring stick as far as in-ring competition. Like, every woman, you could think you great in the ring, but when you get in there with Charlotte and you got to have that type of match and you got to go for as long as the matches that they allow Charlotte to have, that's a different type of match. I also agree that the way, because Becky understands how to put together a match also. She might not be what Charlotte is in the ring, technically, but she, to me, is great in the ring, too. And it's a lot to do with her storytelling also. Her ability to tell her stories in the ring through her matches. To me, her and Charlotte are great at, for one, talking shit throughout a match. To keep the fans either booing them or cheering them. It don't really matter. Or cheering their opponent. The different thing is it's just a crazy ring psychology that they have. And Bayley, my goodness. I think, for one, Bayley might be in the best shape that I done seen her in. And Bayley was in great shape during her role model run. But this shape that Bayley in is right now. I think this might be the best shape I've ever seen her in. And Bayley had some nice tights on. I did not like her gray and red boots. I thought they should have been all red or either like all gold or something like that, because her tights was fire. The rubyish red with the black and gold and white accents, fire. She didn't have fit of the night, but it was a nice fit. Becky went with just like a straight up black, all black fit, but Becky still, to me, got some of the best ring boots, and Becky still is queen of swag, bro. Like, Charlotte been swagged out a lot too lately, but I'm still gonna have to rock with Becky. Becky's swag is on another level right now. Charlotte got more of an elegant swag, like that's the queen swag, and Becky, but Charlotte kind of had that hip hop type swag a couple weeks ago. Both of them got swag, but Becky right now is just on another level. Because Becky's fit's been fire since she became Big Time Bex. Once she got past that man era of wearing the man t-shirt all the time, when she became Big Time Bex, she just started dressing down. She puts that shit on. But back to the match. What a match. I mean, and this match was everywhere. When Bex hit the little Bex exploder on Bayley into the ring, on outside of the ring to hurt Bayley's leg. I thought that would play a bigger role in the match. I'm glad that they didn't force a focus on that throughout the match. I'm glad the match went the way it went, because this was nonstop action. Pin breakups left and right every time somebody hit. Bayley hit her finisher, it got broken up. Becky hit her finisher, it got broken up. Lyra hit her finisher, it got broken up. Bayley broke up two of them. I want to say Becky hit probably her best manhandle slam that I have ever seen. And Bayley basically said, yeah, but I don't care. I'm going to break this pin up. Because she hit the manhandle slam on, I really wish they'd call it the Beck bottom. But she hit it, the manhandle slam on Lyra. And I swear to you, it's the best manhandle slam she done ever delivered. Like, that shit looked vicious. And that 100% would have put Lyra down if not for Bex coming in. I mean, if not for Bayley coming in and breaking it up. But the chemistry between these three, this is why I say Lyra is my favorite woman, young woman in the WWE right now. Because I don't know how many young women that, for one, you trust in those spots that you put Lyra in. Because clearly Lyra has a lot of trust from from Becky, Bayley, and some people in the back. Because the moves that the spots that Lyra had in this match, unreal. And she delivered in every single spot. She did not look like she was not supposed to be out there. Lyra looked like she was supposed to be out there the entire time with them. Shout out to Lyra Vaquer. She had, and this was probably I'm having a hard time deciding which was my favorite match between this one and the main event, because both matches just were unreal, 5-star matches. But this is how you kick off a show. I don't want to give it all away on what happened in the match. I am finna tell you who won the match. But this was an amazing match. to win this match, Becky hit Bayley with a no. Bayley hit the rosebud or the rose plant on Lyra, and as Bayley was getting the pin, Becky hit the smoothest motherfucking pin I have ever seen. She slid over the top of. It's hard to explain this shit, bro. So she got up, she ran. You know how people like slide over the hood of a car? So she basically slid over Bayley. Like wrapped her arm. Bro, it's so hard to explain, yo. This was the smoothest fucking pin I have ever seen. You just have to go watch it. Like, go type in Becky pin Becky's pin in Evolution. Like, the way she slid and got this pin on Bayley is some of the cleanest shit I've ever seen in the WWE. It was unreal. Like, it's like she slid over the top, she hooked her and got her in a pin position. It was crazy. It's hard to explain it. You would have to see it for it to make sense, because I know right now I don't make no fucking sense. But I'm telling you, when you see it, it's the cleanest pin you will ever see. I cannot think of a pin off the top of my head that was cleaner than that pin. Like, Becky is unreal. That was a 5-star match all the way through. None of those women looked weak coming out of that match. Every single one of them looked great coming out of that match. And if you Lyra didn't even take the pin in this match. Bayley did. So not only did the two horsewomen protect Lyra by not forcing her to take this pin, Bayley said, I can take this pin, bro. My career is my career. This pin does not hurt me. It wouldn't have hurt Lyra either. But I get why you don't want Lyra to take that pin in that situation, especially because of how great Lyra already lost her title. She didn't need to take the pin in that match. But the beauty in how great Lyra has been is I'm pretty sure Lyra wouldn't have mind taking that pin, because it would have done nothing to hurt her because of the performance she just put in on the match tonight. That was unbelievable. You know what? I'm not going to lie. That might have been my match of the night for the simple reason. It's easy to have a beautiful dance like Iyo and Rhea had, because they done wrestled each other so many times and they know each other so well, and it's just those two. So they don't have to worry about trying to incorporate a third. To have the match that Becky, Bayley, and Lyra just had, and to deliver the way they did, bro, it was a spot in this match where Lyra hit a spinning heel kick on Bayley. Then she hit a suplex on Bayley, and then she turned that suplex into a fisherman suplex. And as she was trying to get the pin, that's when Bayley jumped off the top with the elbow. It was such a clean transition. It was so many moments in this match that was just beautifully transitioned to the next move. Like, this was an amazing match. If you don't watch another match on this card, well, you need to watch the main event also. But you got to watch this match. This and the main event. I think you should watch the whole pay-per-view. But you have to watch this match and that main event, because Bayley and Becky, for one, show you why they are who they are. And I am so sad that Sasha Banks is not in the WWE right now, because when I think about a pay-per-view like Evolution, I think about, once again, how Sasha, Bayley, Becky, and Charlotte are a huge reason that a pay-per-view like this can exist. Because back then, when they came in, it wasn't a lot of women who they could not. Natalya is good too, but it wasn't a lot of women, if any, that they could have legendary matches with all the time, other than themselves. So they had to not just have great matches with each other, but they had to figure out how to have great matches with other women. And in turn, that made other women better, because we have to figure out how to get to the level of a Charlotte, of a Sasha, of a Becky, of a Bayley. And really, some people should be happy that character work had to develop for Bayley, Becky, because if not, the title probably wouldn't have touched nobody but the four horsewomen, and until the other women started to come along who were greater. Because I'm just looking at this pay-per-view, and I'm looking at Charlotte on the pay-per-view. I'm looking at Sasha and Bayley, and I'm like, damn, I really wish Sasha was on this pay-per-view. Like, Sasha, you did so much to help put a pay-per-view like this together. I really wish she was on this pay-per-view. But I respect that she want to be the big dog in a little pond. I ain't mad at her about it. She done given what she gave to this women's wrestling, and she's still giving stuff to women's wrestling. So she free to do whatever the fuck she want to. I'ma still look at her as one of the goats of this thing. I ain't gonna never disrespect her. So shout out to Sasha. But Big Time Bex did end up winning this match with their fire ass pin on Bayley. And this was a hell of a way to kick off the show. This show, and I'm not going to be doing this too often, so I don't want people to think like, man, why he got to compare it to the men's thing? That's not what I'm doing. But this match reminded me of when the New Day was in their prime, kicking off shows all the time. Them and the Usos, just kicking off shows, having unbelievable matches to start shows. Like, the Usos and the New Day was just giving us great match after great match to kick off shows, bro. And they wasn't always against each other. Sometimes they was just against a random tag team. They forced, see, to me, the New Day and the Usos, their spot, and tag team wrestling always been good, but I feel like it was a point in time where tag team wrestling kind of died, and we just kept recycling the same shit, like with the Hardy Boys and things like that. And I'm not disrespecting the Hardy Boys and different tag teams like that, but I think the New Day and the Usos revitalized the tag team division. And I truly believe the tag team division is not that important in WWE most of the time until the New Day or the Usos become a part of it. And now that the Usos are not a tag team, it really is important. The New Day are very important now to progress the tag team division, because it's not that they're the only vets, but they are by far the biggest stars of the tag team division. What they can do when they get the titles, or what they do, bro, just look at what they do on a weekly basis, the reactions that they can get out of a crowd, how they can make you care about another tag team. That's why Vince kept putting the titles on them, because when he put it on somebody else, the hype died out. And then you put it back on a New Day, and they ran with it, and they sold merch. They got people excited. They had the best matches. You don't just get title shots and title reigns and live in that era or in that area of always being a part of the title picture for no reason. I understand people like, oh, they always win. That's a loser's conversation. If you are great, you are supposed to constantly be at the top. When you are a game changer, you will live at the top. The reality is the tag team division would not have survived in the WWE over the last decade if it wasn't for the New Day and the Usos. That is just a fact. They elevate every tag team around them, just like Becky, Bayley, Sasha, and Charlotte. Shout out to them. Legends talk. Match 2 of the night was the NXT Women's Championship match between JC Jane and Jordynne Grace. It was a great match. Now, Jordynne Grace had, let me get her name right, Blake Monroe in her corner. They had just won a tag team match last night against JC Jane's crew. And so there was a little spot before this match where Jordynne Grace basically said she wanted Blake in her corner because she knew that JC Jane's crew was going to be causing havoc and whatnot. And it was different spots in this match where Blake took out both of the members of JC Jane's crew. And I apologize to JC Jane because I cannot remember the two women's names in her crew at the moment, or the name of her group at the moment. That's how tired I am. But bear with me, JC. I apologize. JC Jane had the fit of the night. I'm trying to decide between her and Trish. I feel like I want to give it to JC because Trish always looks great. Like she always fit it down. They both kind of had on the same fit. It was all white with the gold accents. But I'm giving it to JC because I saw JC's first. And plus, I kind of feel like it'd be... Like, I feel like I done seen Trish wear this type of fit before. Like, I'm taking nothing away. Trish probably had the second best fit of the night. But I'm going to say JC had the best fit of the night. Both of them had the all... Man, it's a tie. They both had the fit of the night. I really... Because it was basically the same fit, just a little bit different. But the all white with the gold accents, unbelievable. I saw that and I said, JC can't lose this match. Like, it's no way JC can lose this match with this fire ass fit on. You know I'm into the fits of the night, and that was the fit of the night. I do not like it when the person who got the fit of the night on wins. That should not dictate winning or losing. But it's just something about that all white, angelic white with that gold accent on it. It's just something about it. It does it for me. It feels like a championship type of wardrobe. But this was a great match. Well, this was a good match. The first match was a 5-star match to me, I'd probably give this one a 3 stars, because I like the shenanigans and everything that happened in this match. JC Jane looked great in this match. Also, Jordynne Grace looked great in this match. Jordynne Grace just got so many great power moves. I like that she is a powerhouse that can do what she can do. When she picked JC Jane up and then threw her up into a sit-down power bomb, for one, somebody need to bring back a legitimate Batista bomb, because Rhea hit a nice little power bomb in this match, in her match, and Charlotte hit some nice power bombs when she do power bombs. But I just want to see somebody bring back the Batista bomb and start winning off of it. That's all I'm saying. But Jordynne Grace hit a lot of beautiful moves in this match. I'm not gonna lie to you, but the fact that JC Jane held her own throughout this, because I understand most people, if you watch NXT and you watch Jordynne Grace, you might say, not Jordynne Grace, and you watch Jessie Jane, you might say, Jessie Jane, I don't think she bad in the ring, for one. So I get annoyed when people say that she is bad in the ring. I think we confuse, like, we see a Asuka, a Charlotte, a Lyra, and we say, and we tend to, and well, not we, but people tend to say like, oh, this person not that great. It's not that they not great in the ring. They just not as technically great as those other women. They probably can't dance the way those women can dance as far as the wrestling ability, but what they can't do moveset wise or technical wise, they make up for it in other ways. And Jessie Jane, to me, is great in the ring at what she does. And the fact that she can hang with so many different competitors is because she not just has great character work, but her character work extends to in the ring. She understands how her character should perform in the ring. I don't need everybody to be the greatest technical wrestler in WWE. That is boring to me. That's why I get so annoyed when I hear people say, oh, well, you're not a great wrestler. Who the fuck cares? Miz is one of the greatest characters in WWE. He is not the greatest wrestler in WWE, but he can give you a good match. So I'm not one of those people who is going to kill somebody for not being the greatest technical wrestler. That's annoying. JC Jane is great at what she does in the ring. Now, all these NXT women and all the NXT people, period, got that knee strike. I don't know who, I remember when Randy Orton brought it up. I don't know who it was that told all these NXT wrestlers, like, y'all all got to incorporate a knee strike in y'all moveset. But they all have it. But getting towards the end of this match, Blake Monroe took out the last member of JC's crew, and she picked up the title and told Jordynne Grace, you go win this shit. And Jordynne Grace was about to throw JC into one of the ropes to probably hit a finisher, probably to hit that spine buster and set her up for the finisher. JC reversed it, threw Jordynne into the ropes, and when the ref wasn't paying attention, because one of the other members of JC's crew came in and distracted him, Blake Monroe hit Jordynne Grace in the back with the title, which led to JC Jane hitting the rolling encore, which she really got all of that because it busted Jordynne Grace's lip, which I like that name, the rolling encore. That's pretty fire. And 1, 2, 3, JC Jane retains. And I'm happy that JC retained because she deserves this. She done been in NXT for a minute. She done seen about 2 or 3 different groups go up, and she's still there, holding it down, getting better. I absolutely love JC Jane. I think she's going to be a great addition to the main roster because she is going to be a great heel, and you can put her in different heel factions that work in the WWE. Like, she is going to... JC Jane will probably be a multi-time tag team champion when she gets to the main roster because she is such a great heel and works great in a faction. But I can also see JC Jane having multiple runs where she wins a title because she is in a great heel faction and because she is such a great... Like, I remember when she was in that faction where... what is her name? something Rose. I can't remember her first name. It started with an M. But y'all know who I'm talking about. The one who was with Otis for that little minute. They had the Otis storyline with her. Mandy Rose. I remember when she was in that in that group with Mandy Rose, learning, and now you look at where she is now. Shout out to JC, man, because I know a lot of people. I remember when Jordan told her, "When I beat you, nobody will be shocked." Well, you look at that, JC. You look at that, JC. Big dubs in the chat. Match number 3 of the night. The Women's Tag Team Championship match. Fatal 4-way. So obviously the champions coming in was Judgment Day's Raquel and Roxanne. Then you had Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors. Sol Ruka and Zarya. Wait, is that all of them? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. And those are the 4 women who are part of this match. This is probably my 3rd favorite match of the night. Because it was, I ain't gonna, Wade Barrett said at one point in time in this match. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what's going on here. It's hard to keep track of who's eligible in the match. I literally said to myself before he said it, I said, boy, it's getting kind of hard to remember who was actually the ones in this match right now. And then he said it. That's not a bad thing. That means it was a lot of action going on. It did get a little bit confusing at one point in time, but that was because so much is going on. Now, I would like to say, if you thought, well, when I tell you that when I tell you that the 2 horsewomen that started off the night did such a great job in everything that they did in that match, well, now let me hop to the other horsewoman on the card, the 3rd one. I don't know how Charlotte keep doing this. I really don't understand how she can be such a unbelievable dance partner. And it was multiple women in this fucking match, and she still figured out how to be the best person in it. Like, it don't make sense to me that she is this good. It really don't. It got to the point in this match, and I like how they started this match with Charlotte not in the match, and you basically had everybody else doing what they do. And then as soon as Charlotte got into the match, the energy changed. And the way that Charlotte leads the dances, and it's still very evident, it's very hard for some women to just continuously keep up with Charlotte because Charlotte is just the in-ring technician, bro. She knows her in-ring psychology. She understands where she's supposed to be. She understands where she wants you to be. Like, it's just unreal, to be completely honest with you, how great she is in this, how great she was in this match. I wanted her and Alexa to win. I believe that is the next logical move, is to put those titles on Alexa and Charlotte, because what they could do for the tag team women's division now, before you separate them and they end up becoming singles competitors again. I think the best story right now is Charlotte and Alexa in the tag team division. Now, I'm not mad at Judgment Day for winning, but I am getting a little bit annoyed with the Judgment Day holding multiple titles and Triple H basically continuously restarting the Judgment Day. I'm not mad at the stories that's going on with the Judgment. I just don't think that they need the titles to continue to tell these stories. Not to mention continuously using these fake outs, so they might break up, they might do this, and then we just reset and refresh and give them titles. Yeah, that's kind of annoying, because as much as I like Roxanne Perez and as much as Raquel is growing on me because she continued to get better, I do not think that we needed to keep the titles on them. As a matter of fact, I think the next logical step for the Judgment Day would have been for them to lose those titles and for the Roxanne, Liv Morgan, and Raquel feuds to begin. I do not think that they needed to win these titles. Now, maybe they end up losing these titles I think the next thing to do is to create a gauntlet to have the next women's tag team match contender pop up, which I think Charlotte and Alexa is the logical choice to win, because I just think what they could do, the ceiling for what those two could do, to me is unreal. So that's what I want to see. But this was a great match. But for me, and it was a great moment in this match where Sol Ruka hit Charlotte with the how the fuck did I forget this finisher's name, bro? Sol Ruka got a fire ass finisher. I don't know how I just forgot the name of that move, but she only hit it once in this match, and it was against Charlotte. She started talking shit after she hit it on Charlotte. You see, people say what they want to about Charlotte, but boy, I'm trying to tell you, you know how happy Sol Ruka probably was to be able to hit that move and to hit it on Charlotte. You know how big that is for Charlotte to give her that moment in that match? Like, Sol Ruka probably knew they weren't winning the match, but to get that spot, they're going to be talking about her hitting the Sol. It's close. I almost had it. But shout out to Sol Ruka. And she hit a double one on Friday. That shit was fire. But when you look at just how Charlotte was able, because Charlotte basically is the one who connected everything in the back end of this match to get everything going. When she jumped in the ring to pull Alexa out of the way of getting speared, that was a great moment. I like how Roxanne and Raquel ended this match, basically making sure they took everybody out. And then that Tejana bomb that Raquel hit, I knew it was a 1-2-3 after that. I knew wasn't nobody jumping in to break that up. That was a monstrous Tejana bomb. That's probably her best Tejana bomb I've seen her perform in a minute. Because she had another great Tejana bomb a couple weeks ago. But this one was probably the better one. I'm trying to remember who she hit that shit on a couple weeks ago. Because she hit a massive Tejana bomb a couple weeks ago. But the one she hit tonight, boy, that's exactly what Raquel's finisher should look like. She should send you up to the heavens like Omos and bring your ass back down. It's nothing that's going to feel good about that finisher. It's straight up. And that's how it's supposed to be. So I like that. You know what I wish Raquel would do? I was just talking about the Batista bomb. She should sit down on the Tejana bomb. If she sat down on that shit and rolled into a clean ass pin, that should be even cleaner. But shout out to the Judgment Day, Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez on retaining the women's tag team titles. Match 4 was the women's championship match between Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus. Now, this was a good match. I never for 1 second thought Trish was going to win this match. Just like I had no thoughts that Gunther was going to lose to Goldberg last night. I don't even think Gunther should have been the one who got Goldberg's last match, but that's neither here nor there. This was a good match. My problem with this match is, for one, great job by Tiffany for putting on a great match. Because one of my homies was like, well, this was more in line with Tiffany's range. Like, she shouldn't be competing with a Charlotte right now. This is who she... I ain't gonna say all that, but it do stick in my mind, that WrestleMania match she had. And the fact that I don't know how many great matches I think Tiffany done had since she... Like, to me, her best match by far so far was that Friday night match against Nia, where she busted Nia up with the chair. I don't know how much Tiffany made that match great, but it's just this thing where Nia understands it. Because Nia, to me, boy, the improvements that she made in the ring is unreal. Like, Nia can give you a great match at any point in time at this point. But her biggest thing done been with Nia. But she looked good in this match. I think my problem with the Tiffany Stratton thing is, I really don't like the way she has been booked. She done beat Bayley, Charlotte, Nia, and Trish. And I understand Triple H loves Tiffany. But speed running people through courses like this to have them just gather up all these legendary wins so Tiffany can continuously go out there every week and say, I beat this woman, I beat that woman. That is corny as shit to me. I'm not going to lie to you. That is corny as hell. Do you know how long it took for Charlotte or Becky to face Trish Stratus and get that win? It was not the first year of their careers. And both of those wrestlers were far better in the ring than Tiffany. And Tiffany is good in the ring. But the fact that they are booking Tiffany like this, to me, it's wild. It is truly wild. She is not great on the mic unless she say something that's a heel line, which she's not a heel, which I still don't understand why they turned her from heel. And I understand like that people I understand like the wanting to build up the young wrestlers, Why is she like I said before, Lyra Valkyrie? That is how I would like for my young up and coming women, not even just women, for the up and coming stars to be built. I don't want to see them just walking through all of the greats just to say they did it. That's corny to me, especially when you see that she couldn't hang with Charlotte in that first match. I don't understand. This is probably one of my bigger problems. The way they, and I was going to get to this at the end, but I guess I can talk about it now. One of my biggest problems with Tiffany Stratton right now is that she is on the same show as Bianca. Bianca has not been in the title picture on Friday Night SmackDown. When she finally made it to the title picture, it was on Raw against Rhea and Iyo. She didn't even get her solo match that she was supposed to get for winning the Royal Rumble. It is insane to me that the two best women in this era is Rhea and Bianca. And Rhea is being booked properly. She constantly in the title picture on her on Raw. But you don't have Bianca in the title picture on SmackDown. You have her babysitting Jade and Naomi for a year and a half. Now Naomi is a champ. I just ruined it. Spoiler alert. Naomi now is a champion, and I'll get to that in a minute. Jade is the queen of the ring with a title opportunity coming up. And Tiffany is the champion. Bianca better than all three of them in every aspect of wrestling right now. In the ring, on the mic, storytelling, ring psychology. It's nothing that those three women do better than Bianca. And this is not a shot at Naomi specifically, because I'm going to get to Naomi. But them other two women, I understand that they are young and up and coming women who you want to play a big part in women's wrestling going forward. Bianca is not some old vet. She should be being booked exactly how Rhea is being booked, because they are the two best women in this era. They are the two top women in this era. They are your Rock and Stone Cold of this era. My annoyance is that I think Rhea done beat all of the four horsewomen. Vince McMahon had Bianca slowly but surely on this phenomenal path. And then Triple H came in and relegated her to babysitting. That is so fucking annoying. And it's no shot at Tiffany Stratton, but she should not be the champ. And listen, I'm not telling you that Bianca should always be on the title picture. Or I'm not, I am saying that. I'm saying she should, I'm not saying she should always be champion. Because I don't think Rhea should always be champion. That's the thing that make Bianca and Rhea so great. They don't have to always be the champion for you to know that they're the two top women in the division at this moment. And I understand Becky, Bayley, and Charlotte. They are the vets. They are the legendary vets who they shouldn't still just be beating everybody as far as like, they should very well still be winning because they are all still three unbelievable and the best. But I understand you using them to eventually boost other people up. I'm not okay with you just using them to just say, oh, I beat Charlotte and Becky. I'm not cool with that. But the way Lyra did it, she beat Becky, but then she lost. I like that because she will eventually beat Becky again, and it's gonna mean so much more. The fact that that Bianca is not being booked properly is very annoying. Cause I don't care how much you like or don't like Bianca and Rhea. Rhea and Bianca are very clearly, to me, the two best women in WWE as far as this era of women. Not counting Charlotte, Becky, and Bayley. Those two are the next. This is supposed to be their era. And for some reason, Triple H is booking Rhea properly, like she is one of the heads of this era, but he ain't booking Bianca properly. Bianca came out tonight as a guest referee in her match, and she did not do shit but guest referee. I understand you want Bianca on this card because this is an all-women's card and she one of your top women in the company, or your top woman in the company along with Rhea. But this was a waste of her time. Once again, it was a good match between Tiffany and Trish. I would probably give it a 2.5 stars. Now I know that sounds bad. But Trish can only do but so much in the ring at this point in her career. So I'm not going to me that match wasn't better than the NXT Women's Championship match. Plus, I didn't know who was going to win that NXT title match. This probably was the only match where I knew exactly who was going to win. No, I knew another match on who was going to win. I'll get to that one in a couple, but I knew Tiffany wasn't losing this match. But I just feel as though this little run that they done had Tiffany on is cute, but it has done nothing for Tiffany's character but say, oh, I beat this legend, I beat that legend. Bro, when Randy was going around becoming a legend killer, he wasn't necessarily beating these legends. He was doing dastardly things to this legend that helped boost him up. Tiffany just running through everybody, not even having the greatest of matches. Triple H just booking her to beat everybody. I really don't like that, because I really don't think I have no problem with Tiffany because she having a title and when, but the way that they done basically built her and used her, I'm just not a fan of it the way I am the way some of the other women. But it's somebody else who I'm probably less of a fan of how she done been built recently also. Because I don't even think this is an era where, see, you could convince me that this is how she should be built if it was no talent on that roster. Tiffany is nowhere near the best talent. And I'm not taking a shot at Tiffany because Tiffany is talented. It might sound like I don't like Tiffany, but I do. I just do not believe that Tiffany should be getting booked the way she done been booked and Bianca is being booked the way she is being booked. Some people might say, well, you know, Saint, Bianca was a tag team champion. Bro, tag team championships are supposed to touch Bianca and Rhea towards the back end of their careers. They are in their primes. Neither one of them should be competing for a tag team championship right now unless it just makes sense as far as like, you remember when John Cena and Shawn Michaels and Triple H and them was competing for main titles, but somehow we snuck them into the tag team picture for a couple weeks? If you want to do some shit like that, I get that. But using Bianca to babysit the tag team titles with with Jade, because you want her to help Jade come along, then you put her with Naomi. I understand the story that came out of that, even though the story kind of getting a little stupid to me. Bianca should be competing when Bianca is back healthy. She should be competing for the title. She should, and I'm gonna get to something else later on. Also, Tiffany should be losing that title to Bianca. I'm just gonna tell you straight up. When Bianca come back, she should end up getting her match so she could end up competing. Well, actually, you know what? They probably gonna have Jade compete for that title to take that title off of her, because Jade competed against her at SummerSlam, and I can see them taking that title off of her and putting it on Jade. I do not think that would be the right decision. I'm gonna get to that in a second, but I would give that match probably a 2.5 stars. Shout out to Trish though; it's always great to see Trish back. Transitioning into match 5 was the special guest referee match between Jade and Naomi with Bianca as a special guest referee. And it was a no-hold-bars match, so basically anything went. And this was a great match. It was a lot of great spots in this match. It was a off-the-rope DDT onto a chair by Naomi to Jade. Jade didn't win the match. Jade hit a fucking Jaded off the top rope through a table on Naomi to get the pin. Naomi put Jade through a table on the outside. Then she hit a move on her to hit her into the table. Like, this was a great match. Naomi looked great throughout this match, which I thought they was going to bullshit and have Naomi look terrible throughout this match. They didn't. Now, this is where I'm a little bit confused, because this feud to me has been garbage for this reason. Naomi at no point in time in this feud has looked dominant at all. Jade has looked dominant all the way through until she get blindsided every time Naomi blindside her. But that is a problem to me, because I understand Jade and her look, and she should be the powerhouse. But Jade is nowhere near, and I like Jade in the ring. I think she continue to get better. She's terrible on the mic, but she can get better at that too. She just don't sound great when she on the mic to me. Naomi is the better in-ring competitor. So Naomi did a great job leading this dance. And that's what I want to talk about Naomi for a second, because I said earlier that I thought it was somebody who got dropped in the absolute worst era. It was Naomi. Because my brother brought this up to me tonight. When me and him was going through the eras of different women wrestlers we watched and the different groups that came in. And I was thinking about who Naomi came in with. And when I think about it, Naomi's group that she came in with, none of those women were better wrestlers than Naomi. But all of them basically got far more opportunities than Naomi. And I never really thought about that until tonight when I thought about how most of those women back in the day they couldn't lace Iyo's boots. Naomi is a great in-ring competitor. And Naomi done really always been a great in-ring competitor. I mean, she done had great matches with Charlotte. I mean, she always have great matches with Charlotte. She done had great matches with Naomi. Great matches with Jade. She made Jade look good in that match tonight. She had great matches with Nia. She done had great matches with Becky. She done had, great matches with Becky. She done had so many great matches. She had great matches with Sasha. Like, Naomi is a great in-ring competitor, and she don't get the credit that she deserves. And I really think if Naomi had came in with the 4 horsewomen, it would have been the 5 horsewomen. Because Naomi could hold a candle to all of those women. It is such a shame that she came into the era that she came in, but she got looked over by a lot of just better gimmicks, if you want to say that. Not necessarily women who was better in the ring than her. And I'm trying to think of somebody who came in with a group of people, whether it be the men or women, who got such a raw deal, but was such a ultra talent. And I'm not talking about somebody who came in with a whole bunch of other talented people who was just as good as them. That's not the same. To me, Naomi was by far the best talent in her thing. She probably wasn't that great on the mic yet, but I don't know too many people who come into the business and is already A-level mic workers. Even motherfuckers who good on the mic come up to the main roster end up not being as great on the mic after for a couple months or even a year or so. Naomi came up to the main roster and was already pretty much great at everything except for probably her mic work. And she was never booked like she was a great... and Naomi done been a champion before. I remember when she had the belt with all the lights on it and whatnot. But her consistent booking was never there. And I think that had a lot to do with the era she came in. If she had came in with Sasha, Bayley, Becky, and Charlotte, or even after that, well, she would have been booked so much different. So much different. Like, she was taking back seats to the fucking Bella Twins, bro. And no disrespect to the Bella Twins, but the Bella Twins cannot lace Naomi's boots. I'm sick and tired, and now this gonna sound disrespectful. I heard Iyo say that Nikki paved the way a couple weeks ago. No, the fuck she didn't. I agree with Liv, and I know Liv was just being a dickhead, but I am fully agreeing with Liv. And once again, I'm not taking anything away from Nikki. And I'm not even going to say like, oh, she was fucking John Cena, that's why she got the ring. But Nikki should not have, like, Nikki got better in the ring. I'll give her that. Bro, Nikki is, God bless Nikki, but Naomi taking back seats to the fucking Bella Twins is just mind-blowing to me. Because them motherfuckers was not what Naomi is in the ring. Or character. To me, Naomi's character has always been a good character. But she got reduced to a gimmick because they would not properly book her. Her character work now, people can say, oh, this is the best work she done had in her career. Naomi always done bought into her characters. It was never a thing of Naomi didn't buy into her characters. But yes, I do believe Naomi's heel character has been more fruitful for her. Even if I'm not really a fan of how they done had this feud go between her and Jade. Because I understand, like, her not be... Bro, she done had 3 matches with Jade or 2, and she ain't won none of them. That's not how you build a feud, bro. Especially because Jade should not be being booked like she... I just want to say something. Matter of fact, I'm going to wait. Jade should not be being booked like she is fucking Bianca. I just want to put in perspective. Jade, Naomi, Tiffany, and really anybody else you can think of has been booked better than Bianca, who is supposed to be your top woman along with Rhea. I don't understand how people don't realize that this is a problem. Stephanie Vaquer has been booked better than Bianca in this year than Bianca done been booked in the last since Triple H done took over. Not having a problem with that to me can only mean you are a racist. Because there's no way you would be okay with Rhea being booked the exact same way. And it's nothing you can say about, oh, Bianca win too much. Rhea and Bianca are supposed to win too much because they are the top women of this era. They supposed to stack wins. Not to mention, Bianca hadn't been in a main title picture in 2 years. But you still got white boys on the internet talking about some, oh, she win too much. That is just racism. So I don't mean to keep bringing everything back to Bianca, but I would have the same problem if this was happening to Rhea. Mind you, once again, Rhea didn't win the title, but she was just in another title match where she belongs. Bianca was a special fucking guest referee. Triple H, for some reason, will not let Bianca out of this fucking feud that she should not be in. These are silly ass feuds at this point when you should be using her as she should be being used as one of your top women, the top woman along with Rhea of this era. Like, it's just, to me, it's crazy. I ain't never seen, I have, but this is crazy misbooking on one of your top wrestlers, bro. It is crazy. But like I said, Jade won this match. I don't know how, and I guess you could say they made up for it in the end. But once again, I am not a fan of how Jade is constantly beat Naomi in this. Naomi a heel, she should be able to get a heel type of win. It's not going to make Jade look worse. So, as much as I like all Jade and Naomi, I'm just... we'll get to it later because we're not done talking about Naomi. The next match of the night was the Women's Battle Royal. Now, I believe the winner of this Battle Royal will get a future title shot, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's the case. It's got to be the case based off of who won this match. A lot of things happened in this match. This was a good match. This was a great Battle Royal. This is probably, matter of fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I would say this is the best Women's Battle Royal match I done seen. Is it? Yeah, it's probably one of the better ones I done seen. Give me a minute. I'm about to go get me something to drink. Back like I never left. This drink good as hell, boy. I put it in the freezer like an hour before I started this, and now I got it out. I'm glad it didn't freeze. It's like a slushy now. Blue raspberry lemonade. No. It's ocean water lemonade from Sonic. This Battle Royal, though, by the women was a good one. It wasn't as sloppy as it usually is. It didn't have as many spots where it was like we slowed down and everybody looking at it. Like, I'm so happy that this match, for that simple reason, I'm giving that back. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot the last match. I'm going to give Jade Naomi a 3-star. Yeah. So the opener was 5. JC Jane was a 3-star match. Tiffany Trish was a 2.5-star match, and this one was a Jade Naomi was a 3-star match. But they didn't need Bianca there. Like, Bianca did nothing in this match except for refereed it down the middle. They definitely could have just brought out a regular ref to referee this fucking match. This was probably Triple H trying to get Bianca on the card somehow, and I respect that. I respect understanding that, yo, we need to get Bianca on this card, but, bro, book her better, my nigga. The Women's Battle Royal, though, I'm going to get at 3 stars, probably 3.5, because to me, this is the best Women's Battle Royal I done seen. Like, it feel like because they didn't have to book the Men's Battle Royals and do all the shit they be doing in that they actually booked a good Women's Battle Royal. Like, thank God. This was a great Women's Battle Royal, though. Stephanie Vaquer ended up winning. Nia was one of the last ones. The last 3 women in this match was Nia Jax, Lash Legend, and I was going to say Sol Ruka, and Stephanie Vaquer. Now, I said that I knew Trish wasn't winning that match she had tonight. I knew Stephanie Vaquer was going to win this one. I like Stephanie Vaquer. I don't think like she the greatest in-ring competitor I've ever seen. She good in the ring, but like at this very moment, I don't think like she's just the greatest in-ring competitor I've ever seen. I also don't understand why Triple H do this thing where like he get these women or these wrestlers that's come from other companies or come from overseas or whatever with big names. And so now they can't lose in the WWE, or they got to lose in the craziest ways, or they lose like once every 6 months, it feel like. Stephanie Vaquer is being built like Tiffany Stratton, basically. And Tiffany actually had to go through NXT. Stephanie Vaquer went to NXT, won both titles, lost them in crazy ways, and then moved to the main roster. Complete waste of time, in my opinion, for all those other women on NXT who actually go through the grind. I also think one of the reasons Jade is not as clean in the ring as she could be is because they just allowed her to skip over NXT. And I don't understand that. She should have been put in NXT. I don't like when, like, I understand to an extent Jade's look, you want her on the main roster quick. You could have still put her through NXT. And I actually think if you had to put her through NXT, that would have helped. Because a lot of fans don't like Jade for weird-ass reasons. But I think one of the things that could have helped Jade is if you had to put her on NXT. Now, a lot of fans not going to like her because a lot of fans feel like we Naomi fans and Naomi never had these moments, so I'm not cheering for you over Naomi. I completely understand that. I'm not one of them type of fans who thinks like that, but I get it. My whole thing with Jade has nothing to do with Naomi. I just wish Jade had went through NXT, competed with those women, learned how to dance properly and more fluidly, and then get brought up. Because she do deliver a lot of great power moves. However, I do not think that she moves or is as fluid in the ring as she could be if you had to put her with some other women. If you had to put her in NXT. Stephanie Vaquer, as much as I do like her, because I do like her and I do think she is good in the ring, I don't know why we are building her. Like, it's almost like she can't lose clean. I don't think she done lost clean yet. And she basically win all these big matches unless like something weird happened to take her out of the match. But it's never like a clean get her out of the match type of thing. I also don't like that they just keep... See, it's a thing that they do. Where if you got a move that people like, they abuse and overuse the move. And Stephanie Vaquer's move where she do the little... You know the move I'm talking about. The fact that that is like the biggest spot in matches for her at this moment is kind of cheese now. It's kind of done grown old on me already. I don't like how Triple H is booking her. I do not want to see another Asuka type of build where Asuka never lost for like 3 years or some weird shit like that until she lost to Charlotte. And then people got mad because they're like, oh my God, Charlotte beat her. Bro, Charlotte, Becky, Bayley, somebody was going to beat her. And it was going to be one of them horsewomen. So you might as well have gotten over that. And she was not going to stay undefeated. That is just crazy. You have to appreciate the run she had, but it was going to end. Stephanie Vaquer, to me, why even... Like, I understand you done already had her lose title. So it might feel like, okay, she can take regular... But you truly haven't built her like Lyra. Lyra can take L's. I do not see every time Lyra step in the ring, I don't think to myself, Lyra gonna win this match. I already know they're gonna let her win this match. Every time Vaquer or Tiffany step into a ring at this moment, and Tiffany feel like that more so because she got the title, even though she don't look better than most of the people she in the ring with sometimes. That was a double stupid. She don't always look the best in the ring against her opponent. Stephanie Vaquer is not a champion at this moment, but even before she was, I mean, just look at how they are building her. I don't believe that when you, like, it's kind of like that Goldberg build, actually. Like, I don't really want to see that. It's too many talented women to be building one woman like she is just, like I said, to me, the hierarchy should be Rhea, and I actually, you know what? It should be, to me, it should be Rhea, Bianca, and Iyo. I think those are the 3 best women right now in the company, as far as the young women. Then, like I said, you got your 3 vets: Bayley, Becky, Bayley, Becky, Charlotte. And then all the other women under that, bro, it's a tug of war. You battling to become the next great. I do not think Stephanie Vaquer should just be rocketed over all these other women. Her character work to me is not that much better than all these other women. Her in the ring is not much better than all these women. I don't like this thing of she like this high price free agent that we had, so we got to book her. And I almost feel like, because I don't like the Gunther build at this point either. I'm starting to realize that also. And I don't know if it's that I don't like the Gunther build, but I said at first that I didn't mind Gunther beating Jey Uso for that title because I understand he was telling Jey a lesson and basically like, bro, you can't solve everybody's problems when you're the champion. But damn it, that is just untrue. We done seen so many babyface champions be involved with multiple things and continue to win a title. Jey Uso was doing a phenomenal job as that champion, as a babyface champion. And it kind of felt like they hold him like they hold Kofi. Kofi ain't touched that title since he lost it. I don't know if Jey will touch that title again since he lost it. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Both of them was great champions. Kofi never touched the title again. Like I said, who knows if Jey will touch it again. But I do not think either one of them should have lost. And Kofi got hold in the Brock Lesnar match. But I think Jey just got hold also. One of my biggest problems with that Jey Uso thing, when I look back on it, bro, they be having CM Punk jump out of damn near 100 fucking finishers. He is not a champion. Jey Uso is a champion. And he can't jump out of multiple finishers. He can't find his way out of multiple spots. Like, to me, that is just absolutely fucking insane. I'm watching Seth Rollins, who is not a champion. I'm going to get to him, actually, too. That nigga jumping out of a multitude of finishers and shit all the time, but Jey Uso can't. Also, to go back to the tag team match, Charlotte hit a spear in that match. Yo, one of these days, Charlotte might have to get a pin off of that spear, bro. That was probably the best spear she done delivered, bro. She delivered a Bobby Lashley-like spear. But back to the Gunther thing. I done seen multiple babyface champions have longer runs than Jey, who were not as good as a champion as Jey. Jey, for one, that's an iconic entrance at this point. I love his entrance. And the only thing they finna do, I'm pretty sure, is put the title back on Cody eventually. I don't know how much I'm digging that, but we'll talk about that eventually. Not on this show. But the way that they have been booking Stephanie Vaquer, I don't know, man. I don't know. It don't feel like. It really don't feel like a story matter. They just building her to be this dominant. I wouldn't be surprised if she take the championship off of Naomi or Iyo. I mean, not Iyo, or Tiffany. But now we get to the main event. And shout out to Lash Legend, because I did not expect Lash Legend to be one of the last ones in the match. But I'm happy she was, because Lash can go in the ring. And when she picked up Candice LeRae, no, she ain't the one who eliminated Candice LeRae. Who did she pick up? Lash Legend picked up somebody and tossed them out the ring. Yo, Raquel did the same shit in her match too. Zarya did it also. Raquel slung somebody out the ring. Like, she picked him up in a power bomb. Who was it? I think it was Kairi Sane she did it to. That shit was clean though. The main event of the evening. Match 7. Oh yeah, I already gave my rating for that Battle Royal. I didn't let my disdain for Stephanie Vaquer winning it lower my rating on it, even though I did not want her. I understand I mean, in a way, I understand she like your new up and coming star, so you want to build her up, but I don't know, man. Kalani had a nice little spot in this match too, where she got thrown out, but she didn't land on the floor, and she did a handstand to get back in the ring. That was fire. Shades of Kofi. Kalani gonna be a star when she get to the top. I hope they don't relegate her to doing. I don't mind if she the new Kofi Kingston of these women's Royal Rumbles, like, or Battle Royals. Like, I'm happy that she had this spot in this match. And you know what? She could do this for the next couple Royal Rumbles or Battle Royals they have, and I wouldn't mind, because that's just gonna do nothing but help her in the long run. I just hope they don't relegate her to just a spot woman and actually like properly use her. The main event though, 5-star. Rhea Ripley taking on Iyo Sky for the women's WWE championship. Unfucking real. What a fucking match. I'm telling you right now. There was so many spots in this match, it's hard to count them all. This is why I was so critical of how Triple H was using Rhea. And why I was bothered how he knocked her off of the course that Vince McMahon had her on. Because it was a time where I do not believe Rhea could have had this type of dance, where Rhea could not have performed the way she performed. But because they finally integrated her back into the women's division, took her out of fucking Judgment Day, stopped having her just be like mommy for Dom, and let her compete in this women's division and stop setting her up to just run through lower end competition. Look at what she has blossomed into. She is finally starting to hit her peaks. Not necessarily, I'm not saying like she can't get no better. I'm saying like she's starting to her and Bianca it's a reason why I feel like her, Bianca, and Iyo are the top 3 women of this young generation, because I don't think, look at how her and Iyo danced. I don't think they danced like that with anybody else but Bianca and those horsewomen. I don't think that the dance looks that great, because those 3 women, Bianca, Iyo, Rhea, they done been being developed over these last couple years. They done competed with these top women. Except for some reason we still yet to get Bianca Charlotte. But so they understand how to carry matches now. They don't need Bianca. They don't need Sasha, Bayley, Becky. Not Sasha. They don't need the 3 horsewomen in the matches with them for them to be able to carry a match, for them to be able to have a proper dance. I remember when Iyo came to the WWE, to the main roster, and she had a match against Bianca. She looked out of her league. Bianca looked like the far better competitor. And look where Iyo is now. It was this point where I just felt like Iyo was just the moonsault woman. Look at how much she done developed since. You might not remember her first match on the main roster against Bianca. Bianca was fresh off of being a champion too, so she was never going to win that match. But I did not expect her to look that much better than Iyo in that match. And she did. Now you look at where Iyo is, and you look at where, and for some reason, I feel like Triple H got this weird ass thing where he don't want to put Bianca and Rhea on the same show, which I don't have a problem with. The only problem I have with it is, if you're gonna have Iyo and Rhea constantly in the title picture, Bianca should be the same, because when they come together, it should be like a Rock and Stone Cold type of thing. But leaving that alone and just continuing to focus on this match, this was an unbelievable match, bro. It was so many great spots in this match. They jumped out of each other's. No, I don't think Iyo hit the moonsault at all in this match. Did Rhea hit the Riptide? I don't think Rhea hit the Riptide in this match either. That should tell you how great this match was. I do not believe either one of them hit their finishers in this match, and this still was a phenomenal match. There was so many different moments in this match. Shout out to Chelsea Gray. Can't forget that. She had a nice fit too with the all gold. But she probably had the 3rd best fit on the night. But Iyo, I liked Iyo's fit too. Iyo and Rhea just tore the fucking house down. That is exactly how you're supposed to end the show. That is exactly the type of match that you are supposed to have to end the show. This is why I love women's wrestling, bro. God, I love women's wrestling. They said that these women couldn't do what the men do, and they do it better. I'm telling you, bro. Iyo and Rhea just had a fucking match. Every fucking spot in this match. And you want to know something? Iyo, I like the way they had Iyo countering damn near everything Rhea was throwing. Because Rhea has never beaten Iyo in a one-on-one match. The beauty in when you have beaten Rhea every time you competed against her is you should, granted, obviously you compete against somebody so much you should know their moves, right? But it reminded me of Sasha. How Sasha, one of Sasha's greatest techniques is that she is such a great reversal wrestler. Like, she's so great at reversing moves and like that. I remember when Samoa Joe brought that up. When you look at Iyo in this match and how many moves she reversed from Rhea, because it's like, I done beat you so many times. I know what you're going to try to do. I know your transitions. I know when you're trying to hit me with this type of move. I know what to do to get out of it. Like, it was such brilliant ring chemistry between both of them. You could tell that they done competed against each other multiple times. Even the spots where Rhea had to readjust and do something else or find a different move in her arsenal to try to take out Iyo, because she like, how do I put this woman down? Like, what do I do to take this woman out? Like, I have not been able to beat her. Like, what do I do? And then she hit a Spanish fly from the top rope. And both of them was laid out. And then the music hit. Naomi, who had just lost earlier in the night, comes down to the ring with ref in hand and briefcase in hand. Tells the ref or the ring announcer, I'm cashing in. They announce that she is cashing in. The match will now become a triple threat match. She clocks Iyo with the and you know, if it's a triple threat match, everything goes. She clocks Iyo with the briefcase. She comes in and throws Rhea into the ring post and essentially gets rid of her. She hits her finisher. 1, 2, 3, and a long-awaited, you know, I don't do that deserve shit, because you deserve what you work for. Everybody deserves greatness because everybody works hard. But in this specific case, a long overdue. Once again, after it feel like decades since she held it, Naomi is a champion. Not a tag champion. The women's world champion. I'm happy for Naomi. Now, I'm also glad this essentially ends her feud with Jade, possibly, because she going over to Monday Night Raw now. Now, as much as I do like this cash in, I do not specifically or particularly like that it happened in this match, because this was a phenomenal match. And I guess I'm more of along the lines of Triple H stop being a bitch and just pick a winner. Either Iyo gonna beat Rhea again, or Rhea gonna beat Iyo for the first time. I don't really like a match that's that great being, it wasn't ruined, but I don't really, I would have liked to see a winner between those two. But I understand what wrestling is, so I can't be mad at it. However, I don't understand how heel, well, I guess to an extent I can, because if you a heel, you're just going to try to find the easiest opportunity possible. But why would she not try to cash in on Tiffany? Tiffany is why she never won the title in the first place, because Tiffany kept fucking her when she was with Nia. She done made it very clear that she wanted to take the title off of Tiffany, because of how Tiffany ruined it for her. But she ended up swerving it and taking it off of Iyo. Now, I have no problem with her beating Iyo. We're taking it off of Iyo. I understand some people might say, oh, it ruined a legendary match. It did not. It was still a 5-star match with a 5-star ending. But I do believe I would have preferred for her to take that off of Tiffany. And for her, and I even would have preferred her and Jade to have a match at SummerSlam, or possibly even a triple threat match between her, Tiffany, and Jade at SummerSlam. I don't know. I feel like but I can't be mad ultimately if this does officially end the feud between her and Jade. Because Jade can't fight her for the title. It's already been announced Jade is competing against Tiffany for the title at SummerSlam. So I guess now, naturally, the next thing to do is to put Bianca in a feud with Tiffany and Jade. Somehow. But Naomi, I don't believe. Like, the crazy thing is, to me, logically, the next best step would actually be for Bianca to feud with Naomi eventually. And for Bianca to be the one who took the title off of Naomi. But for that to happen, you would need Bianca to somehow get to Raw. And we know Triple H ain't finna put Rhea and Bianca on the same fucking roster. Even though I really believe at this point in time, you should move all them young women to SmackDown or Raw and put not Tiffany. I think you should put Charlotte, Bayley, Becky, Alexa Bliss, Bianca, Rhea, Iyo on the same roster. Those are the top women in the company right now. Those women, to me, what they would do for the women's division over the next 2 years, just competing against each other, while those other young women grow and beat each other in their own rights before you start fusing them with these other women again. I just think that would be great. But I'm very interested to see where they go with this Naomi thing, because she is on Raw now. I'm imagining that Iyo and Rhea is about to be who. Now, I'm very interested in this now because they wouldn't give her a win over Jade. So I don't know how they finna give her a win over Iyo and Rhea. This is gonna be very interesting. Let alone the Bianca also. Like that's why I don't really like that she lost to Jade so many times, because I don't look at Jade the way I look at Iyo, Bianca, or Rhea. But she couldn't beat Jade, so how the fuck is she supposed to beat those three? You see where this booking shit really don't be making sense sometimes? But, at the end of the day, I give that match a 5-star. Like, easily a 5-star match. And with that, we have come to the end of our show now. I think I'm almost 2 hours into this thing, so I'll give my quick thoughts on Goldberg. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Goldberg Gunther match. It wasn't that it was bad. I don't know why they chose this moment to have Goldberg have like his longest match of his career. I thought they should have done more with his son. His son should have got involved in some type of way. I actually think the best outcome probably have been having Goldberg win the match and then having Seth Rollins come out and cash in on him. But then you had that shit that happened earlier in the night where Seth Rollins got hurt and then the LA Knight beat him basically because Seth Rollins got hurt. And I don't know if that's a real injury by Seth. I'm imagining that's just like a kayfabe type of injury, a storytelling injury. But I don't like how LA Knight had to pick up I only beat him because this motherfucker was hurt type of dub. That didn't feel like it should have felt. And I also don't like, and it felt like Triple H was like, here, nigga, damn, get a win since people keep bitching. Because I don't think that's going to turn into shit for LA Knight. But, I wasn't a fan of that match. And I wasn't the biggest fan of the Goldberg match. Because I just feel like I understand Gunther wasn't never going to lose that match. But I actually think the best thing would have been for Gunther to lose that match. Like, I don't want to hear niggas be like, oh my God, he shouldn't be beating, Goldberg shouldn't be beating Gunther. Bro, Gunther is always a champion. Gunther can take this type of loss. If that nigga Brock Lesnar could take a loss to Goldberg the way he did, Gunther can take a loss to Goldberg. That's one. Two, bro. At some point in time, storytelling gotta be more important than making Gunther look like this dominant champion or a dude who will always be the champion. Like, at some point in time, storytelling gotta be like I said, when I went back and thought about it, Gunther should not have beaten Jey Uso for that fucking title in that rematch. And then Jey don't even win the King of the Ring. Instead, they have Cody win that shit. Like, man, I ain't never seen a placeholder type of champion. That basically is what they made Jey Uso look as good as he looked throughout his run and be treated the way he has been. And not even saying like he been treated dirty. He should not have lost that title to Gunther. And if he lost the title to Gunther, I don't understand why Goldberg couldn't have took that shit off of him. And then you put it, because Gunther don't need another long title run, bro. He don't. So I'm not understanding how. It don't even matter if I understand it. Goldberg probably should have won that match. That probably would have been the best thing to happen. And then Seth could have cashed in on him. But, you know, it is what it is. Evolution was a 5 out of 5 star pay-per-view for me. Saturday Night Live's main event, I'll probably give it. It was better than that first one, so I'd give it like a. What did I get at first one? Like a 2.5. I get this one a 3. It wasn't better than Evolution though. Evolution was a far better show. Better matches, better everything. I do like that Jelly Roll took a Claymore on Saturday Night Live. On Saturday Night Live's main event. Or Saturday night's main event. But as far as Evolution goes, unbelievable pay-per-view. 5 out of 5. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I will be going back watching multiple matches on this card, specifically that opening and closing match. Unbelievable pay-per-view. Cannot wait for the next one. All of the women killed it on the show tonight. Even the ones that I had critiques or thoughts about. Every single woman killed it. Every single woman put in that work. Shout out to every woman who was a part of this. Shout out to everybody who made this event possible. I truly appreciate these women for going out there and doing this. Like I say, this is an art. This is a craft. They go out there and put their bodies on the line for our entertainment. And I couldn't be more appreciative of it. So shout out to all of them. With that being said, I appreciate you for joining me on another episode of Wrestling with Saint Evolution Recap. I fuck with you. I love you. And I'm skipping. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You could be anything in this world. So choose to be kind to somebody today. I fuck with you. I love you. And until next time, Saint out.
You're only good because I showed the world how to be great. Before you came along, these people loved me. I was the man of the people.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy. Scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.